Today we're going to be trying out a little something where I'm going to create breakcore without really ever hearing the genre. I've heard a couple breakcore tracks back in the day, so I know the basics. I'm gonna be completely honest with that. And from that knowledge, we're gonna try and create for the first time. I know a few things, you know, the BPM is really high. Boom, chap, boom, cham, cham, boom, chap, boom, cham, cham. And I know it uses a lot of distorted sounds, and namely one, right? So there's a lot of breaks, you know, that's the whole basis of it, that we create chops. So we chop up this almond break sample. Then we're gonna chop this up. We want this kick sample. We want marker 43 here, our godsend. We want him. And then you want dum dum chaff, digga dum dum chaff, digga dum dum chaff, digga dum dum chaff. Oh, this is a really stressful genre. Let me change the metronome sound here because I'm using a hi-hat right now, and that's gonna be confusing. Where do you change the metronome setting?
I personally can't stand the metronome sounds that come with FL Studio, so here's how you go about changing them.
How about that, huh? This guy says he can't stand the metronome sound that comes within FL Studio. It's a standard metronome sound. Hi, Miss Galangelus. Miss Galangelus. Right click the button, there we go. So this is the sound that a tutorial guy couldn't stand. Alright, yeah. And this is marker 43 that we wanted. I feel like as if it's a bit too fast. It can't be this fast. There we got our first loop going, you know. Let's drop a limiter onto the master, just so you know that I know that you're hearing the same volume as I am. So that's the first loop, and then we're gonna make another one that is a bit more glitchy. And then we can do dum chop digga dum dum chop dum dum chop digga dum dum chop. Okay, so that's the more glitchy loop. I think it's a lot about having a piano melody that plays kind of something beautiful. We also need to distort the drums quite a bit, I think. So it isn't that harsh. Then we get another part, and then we get the actual distortion plugin. I feel like we want to tame it a bit. Really aggressive genre. We're gonna go ahead and get a pad that sounds pretty dramatic on a chord, with a kind of distorted chord. And a big part of it, I think, is that it has to be dramatic. There we go, that's pretty cool for you. Let's lower the almond break. And maybe we're gonna reverb that pad a bit. Quite a lot, to be honest. I think that all the other elements are really, you know, floating around out there. And maybe that second chord can be made by another pad. I feel the first one should be kind of a big thing, and then the second one goes. Bassline. Do, 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 do. We need to add some kind of pianist that accounts for that, those beautiful notes. So we're gonna take the chords from before, and we're gonna make a dramatic part. We already had a dramatic part with a bit of a different preset as well. Oh, that sounds kind of sick though. That phased piano sounded kind of nice as a chord instrument. And now the piano. We got first no piano, and then the piano comes in. And we're gonna use a little build-up sheet trick there. You know, Dada Life has a plugin for this. It is quite phenomenal. When you automate it, it creates a build-up. And there's the same thing as a preset in RC20, a retro color. So you can just automate up the magnitude here. And by doing so, we'll get the automatic build-up without having to, you know, go in and automate anything specific. Still, the piano melodies, let's just listen to the transition here and see what you think. It's a good transition, but we need the bass to come in even here, because right now we're out of bass in this part, and the piano melody, I'm not feeling it at all. It needs to be quieter. Change the piano to something with a bit less transients. So we got the piano part here in the middle, you see it. It's not perfect, but it'll do. And in addition to that, I wanted two things. I want a bass line for the dramatic chord part over here. And I want some kind of vocal, you know, tune link. Not tune link, but you know, in the Zelda games, there's this little butterfly that goes, "Hey, listen." Hey, listen. You know, now I've done a classic thing, which you shouldn't do. Sorry about the doubling here. Since I'm not too happy with the piano melody, I've just lowered down the volume of it until it's, you know, barely audible. Because I wanted it to be a lead instrument, but since I wasn't too happy with the melody, I just turned it down. And for this little vocal part, we'll add some kind of form and shift, you know. Isn't it kind of strange with Alter Boy? You know this plugin. Maybe you've seen it. It's a plugin that everyone has, even though it's pretty simple. You know, you can do the same thing in FL Studio, but this is just a plugin that... Ooh, not sounding too good. We're gonna manipulate it a bit more, I think. Maybe, what can we add? Pitch correct it a bit. So now we're going for the bass line in the dramatic chord part 2. And we're gonna change it up a bit to a new bass sound. We got this chord. So we got the kind of reverb bass going. I don't want that anymore. I want a new bass, and I want something to sound a bit more... What do we call it? That's perfect. So now we need a riser. So we got a few risers. We got this riser. We got the tonal riser. And we got a crash too. As in crash 2. Is there something more we can do about the vocal sample? You know, you can still hear it's me behind. It sounds too baby. It sounds very, very much baby. So we had this little vocal part. Reverse it. And we wanna fade in the drums as well. With the Pharrell 4-count start, very known. Clean it up a bit. I think we're also going to listen to this part again. That last chord feels a bit lonely. It's too obvious what it's playing, you know? So let's add a dramatic sound there as well. Alright, now let's have an actual listen through from the top. Have a lovely, lovely day, and